moon.
Hello there, and welcome to another Pre-Worlds interview. My name's Cockles, and I'm here. Well, I'm not going to do the name. You can do this. It's easy. Please, Brian, introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Brian Bear. I'm from Indianapolis, and I go by Wee Bear or Bear, either one. So
Does that Wee Bear go by as in you've got to apply the accent? Though you go Wee Bear,
all right, Wee Bear, yes.
right, no, yeah. So you're from Indianapolis. For those people who don't know their American geography, whereabouts is that? Just for them, for their own sake.
It's about 3 hours south of Chicago if you're planning on going to Worlds. But it's just, they call it the crossroads of America. It's kind of in the middle, a little bit eastern middle.
To go there, is there an actual crossroads I can go see?
Yeah, actually there is. Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
disappointed otherwise.
It's our city center. Yeah.
I'll take that. That's fine. So obviously you're going to Worlds. We met in Spain, which is awesome and good fun. And you brought a list that made everyone stand up and go whoa. Have you decided at the time of recording? Obviously, we're about 3-4 weeks ahead. 3 weeks now? 3.5 weeks, I think. Have you decided what you're taking yet?
I haven't. I'm waffling. I don't like taking the same thing that I've taken before. I always do take weird stuff. I made my splash at the competitive scene 2 Adepticons ago when I took the deep dish, and my only loss there. I beat the guy who won, Gorshade, round 4 of day 1, but then I lost to Luke Cook and in the top 8 on day 2. And he was my only loss, and that was my first splash into the kind of the competitive scene. And the deep dish was kind of unique. So,
so if you don't have the list, do you have your faction sorted at least?
Oh, I usually play Rebels.
There you go.
They're so fun.
Now we're into it. We're into this. Is where we're going. One of the few people I'm going to be chatting to who actually is going to bring Rebels, probably, I imagine.
Yeah, Rebels are great. There's so much innovation that's possible in that list, in that faction, more so than any other faction, in my opinion.
You do definitely have to be creative. A debate we had recently on one of the podcasts, the shows that we did, something we had was the case of I make the case of Rebels need help, but only with their core, because you have to take minimum 3 core. So my suggestion would be either rejig the Rebel Force organization so that you maybe only have to take 2 instead, or make Rebel Commandos available in core because you've just got so many choices.
Oof. I don't agree with that because I would abuse that pretty heavily. I think, and I think you got to be careful. I think the core tax in Rebels is just fine. You got 3 naked fleets, and then you got a bunch of great stuff that you could put in there. If you're just going with the core tax, go with your 3 naked fleets. Put some stuff on them that you can be useful for the rest of your team, and use them as needed. Because naked fleets they're just the best. Round 5 and 6, there's nothing that can beat that kind of a dice pool for how cheap they are.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very fair point. I hadn't actually had that argument put out against me for that one, so noted. So everyone has a style, and obviously playing Rebels, that must mean you lean into a certain play style, if that makes sense. Do you consider yourself like a tricky player or a janky or a gun line? What's your go-to style?
I usually like to punch in the mouth as quick and as fast as possible. so
actually, the game.
Yeah. So actually, playing Lila was so much fun in Spain because I feel like she and I play very similarly. We like to ram stuff down your throat, and we like to do it fast, and we like to not let up the gas pedal because I feel like a lot of Legion players in general really like to sit back on their haunches and really like their calculated decisions. But when you're up in their face, that's when mistakes start to get made, and that can capitalize on those mistakes. And Lila does a fantastic job of that. And so I've loved watching her play and watching her style and just recognizing like everything that she does, I've been doing, and I love that too. It's just so much fun.
The phrase "game recognizing game" there, that sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
And you're
go ahead.
no, no, go on.
I was just saying that like there's just a lot of fun things that you can do in Rebels with that kind of a style. I played a Mandalorian list earlier this year that I won a big event in Indy here with just all Mandos. It was three fully loaded Mandos with Boba Fett, and those rockets on round one with rule with respect and some aims on them. It's pretty good stuff.
It's funny you say that. Literally this evening, I've obviously it's the moment. It's 20 to 11 in the UK at the moment. It's fun, but I'm a night owl. I'm not joking. I have the page up in front of me. I've been thinking about let's run a triple Mando list and see what happens. So I've been looking at Sabine because she's Sabine, she's a Mando. Din because he's a Mando. With Grogu for this one, and then two fleet troopers, two rebels. The reason I've gone two fleet, two rebels because I don't own a third fleet. So me.
Gotcha.
Two oh no, is it one? Oh, I thought I had two in there. Mandalorian Resistance and then Clan Ren and then a speeder truck. And yeah, and I'm leaning into the synergy of Sabine sharing with the Mandos, and then her being able to dish out cards like Legacy of Mandalore when she gains Inspire, she can also dish out to Din, who will then gain a token. Then she can dish out to Clan Ren. They gain a token. She gains all this sorts of stuff. So I was leaning into that, seeing what would happen. Oh, and the bus has a gun and Triv and a medic.
Nice.
And Din has all of his fun stuff. And so I just thought, sod it. Why not? I'll have fun with that. So I might play that at an event I've got coming in March. It's nothing major. It should be a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, yeah. I can send you my list too. It's the order control is a little bit less tricky than yours would be, just because it's got Boba with 6 Boba cards.
Right.
Actually 5 Boba cards. But yeah, it's backed up with 3 medbots and a couple of officers with vigilance. So it's pretty fun.
What made you go Rebels over, say, Empire or Republic or Droids? Was it just love, or is it just that's how your style plays?
I mean, I play everything. I played droids at Gen Con. I played the year before at Gen Con. I actually played Black Sun Bus Mall, and I got second place at Gen Con, but it didn't mean anything because Lila got second place at Worlds that same year, the next year, and so no one talked about lowly old me that got second place at Gen Con with it. Rightly so. Lila's incredible.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, and she's awesome. But yes, I play Shadow Collective. I play Droids. I started off playing Empire. I played Triple Bikes for forever, and so I loved Blizzard Force. I actually think Blizzard Force is just so much fun. It just became. I don't like playing lists that I feel like I don't have to think to play. And Blizzard Force became that just after a couple of games. Yeah. And I was like, this isn't for me anymore. I need something that's going to be a little bit harder to play.
That's fair. That's very fair. What would you say if obviously you like to be tricky with rebels and things? So what would you, and punch them in the face, as you to quote, what would you say is the weaknesses in the way you play, or do you have any flaws and things that you go? For example, some people really don't like playing against force users, or some people really deal with armor. What's your flaw if you were to say that one sort of thing?
Let's see here. I guess I just here's the cockiness, Cockles. Here comes the cockiness.
What I'm here for.
I think where my weakness comes is my confidence, actually, because I feel like there's times where I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to win the game, and then I make a mistake and the game's over because I made that mistake, right? Because of the way I play. But it takes a long time. If you're going to be an aggressive Legion player, it takes a long time to learn how to be aggressive safely. Yep. Long time. And so I was kind of a nobody for a long time, but I would play like nonstop aggression And then once I learned I can do this here and I can be aggressive here, but I need to pull back in this situation against this list. I need to play it slower. Once I started doing I learned those kinds of nuances to the game. That's when I started making some splashes in some big tournaments. But that takes a lot of time. Like you have to play aggressive for a long time and then learn from your mistakes, which you're going to make all the time. And I still make all the time. But I usually I run lists that really depend on a few units. And so I like keeping those units alive. So I run medics a lot. I run astromechs a lot because I like these core units that I want to play with, and I want to keep them alive because those are the ones that I want to play with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Unless I'm running something stupid like I did at Gen Con with 13 activation flamer spider droids. So with BX mines.
No, there's nothing daft anymore. I just like the creativity, if I'm honest. So what would be your fondest in-game Legion moment? Something you go, I remember that, but in the game. There's a separate question later.
So one of my funnest ones was recently I was playing Operative Luke, and I was playing against a Anakin clone ball. And I was able to get in a position where Luke could go at the end of the round, and it was during his full of surprises turn. So he had some good dodges on him. He had I think 2 dodges. He didn't have any suppression, so he's going to roll some pretty hefty defense. And I knew that when I pop him out, he was going to eat a couple of big standby shots. I out activated the clone player, and I was just willing to roll those dice. And so I came out and I ate 2 big shots. Luke took 3 wounds, but he was able to slap Anakin. I think I did only 2 wounds. No, I did 3 wounds to Anakin, which was pretty lucky. Like he shouldn't have done that many wounds. But then this next round, that was the end of the second round or the first round. I can't remember. It was pretty early on in the game, and then Anakin played I think he played his 2-pip, and I played Serve Your Master Well. So Luke mind tricked a P1 with a Z6 that was close by, pushed Anakin off of him, shot Anakin with the Z6 P1, used both of Anakin's surges in the attack. So Anakin doesn't have surges anymore, and Anakin had to spend his 1 dodge to hit to kill his own P1 squad just to stay alive. So he did a wound to his P1s, and then he blanked the roll, or he blanked 3 and died. And so it was like instant game over. It was so bad.
You just offer his hand out and then just say, "Shall we have a beer?" That's
right, exactly. Yeah, but it was just. I don't know if that makes me a jerk. It was just so fun to see to use all of Anakin's tokens against him, and then that's what Luke does.
That's fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about doing these chats with various people is that I will hear lots of fun little stories. That would be one that I said that might live up there so far. I've had ones where I just rolled multiple crits and I've done it, but the actual ability to just go screw over Anakin and then make him hurt something else and then die at the same time. That's the layers of intricacy and well, that's just fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
What's something that lives in here to go, oh God, I can't believe I did that as a bad moment, as a bad memory?
So it was Adepticon 2 years ago when I lost to Luke Cook. We were playing Breakthrough, and I got my R2 into his zone, and I think I had another, like a land speeder in his zone as well. And so I was scoring 3 because R2's secret mission. And I had another land speeder that was coming in, but he had slowly moved all of his stuff up, and I knew that I think he could score 4. And I think I had to kill. I think he could score 5. I had to kill 1 and then stop 1 to be able to tie 3-3 and then win on points. And I just wasn't able to piece the puzzle apart at the end of the game. Things are tight and working through the puzzle of what do I do here. And I ended up trying to double shoot with my land speeder or something and not killing off a mortar. I think instead, what I could have done is, and Izzy pulled me aside after the game, and he's like, Brian, you could have just like triple moved your speeder and blocked off all of his movement. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, that'd have been really good, Izzy. What a great suggestion. It
Thanks.
was rough. It was rough, but I mean, those in game puzzles are so much fun. And if I could encourage anyone to do anything, I would encourage playing tight games at round 6 at like key positions or breakthrough or intercept, things like that, like or sabotage evaporators, where there's just a whole bunch of minis and trying to move minis around to get your guys into the VAP and get their guys off of the VAP. You can do lots of cool things with either force push or with just engaging them and making them cohere guys away from the VAP or cohere guys to it. Like there's a lot of nuances to the game, and I would practice those. If you want to play high level, those are the things that you need to practice. Those in-game scenarios that are really tight, really tense, and your level of play will dramatically increase.
So outside of the game, playing the game itself, what are your fondest Legion related, obviously, moment? What something that lives up in your head that you're like, I'm happy with that. I love that. That was fun.
Oh, I think the World Team Championship, like awesome. hands down. Like I had the team setting was so much fun. Meeting all the people there was just it was the most fun I'd ever had playing Legion. And it wasn't really even close. In fact, it was so much fun that America wants to put on an American Team Championship in June this year, nice. and I'm bypassing Gen Con to go to that because of my experience in Spain. It was just too much fun. The team setting was so great. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
With it moving to the UK next year, might we see you come over this side of the Atlantic?
I certainly hope so. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm not sure what the plans are. I know that I think the interest is going to outweigh the I think there's going to be way more people